Welcome to Episode 1 of the Grasp of Erebus Podcast series, the first entry in the Devan Prodigy. I'm Sebastian Dax, and here we move just beneath the surface of the story, where the ideas behind it begin to take shape. Let's start somewhere familiar. Nightmares. We all have them. Some fade quickly, others linger, too vivid, too detailed, too precise. They don't always feel like imagination. Sometimes they feel like memory, like presence. So what if they're not just dreams? What if when we sleep, we're not escaping, but arriving somewhere else, another place, another layer of reality, not symbolic, but lived? That possibility sits at the center of Grasp of Erebus, that some people aren't just dreaming, they're traveling, moving through other worlds, and bringing something back with them. Most forget, some don't. A few learn to navigate it, and where there's exploration, there are shadows, not just fear, but something that watches from within it, something older than the stories we tell about it. Across cultures, across centuries, we've described the same things: creatures in the dark, predators at the edge of awareness, different names, but the same shape. And we've been taught they aren't real. But what if that was the point? What if forgetting was safer? Because if some learned to move through those spaces, consciously, deliberately, if they stayed long enough to understand them, they wouldn't just observe, they'd adapt, they'd experiment, interpret the patterns, learn the language beneath the surface, the structure that holds those worlds together. And once that language is understood, even partially, control becomes possible. Not complete control, but enough to influence, to navigate, to return with purpose. Over time, they wouldn't remain alone. They'd find each other, organize, share knowledge, refine what they've learned, and eventually they'd become something else, a collective, a cult, not born from chaos, but from discovery. And then something slower, something corrosive, because the same forces they learned to use begin to shape them in return. Power extends, time stretches, boundaries blur, and the cost isn't obvious, not at first. Within the story, that evolution becomes the shadow cult, structured, global, operating just out of sight, divided into houses, each with a purpose. At the center, the symbolic inquisitors. They interpret the language of the shadows, refining symbols, shaping access, guiding power. Everything flows through them. Beneath them, the life force harvesters. They move through ordinary life, watching, identifying, selecting. Some are recruited, most are not. Their work is precise and final. Then, the shadow vanguard, the forward edge. They push into the unknown, testing limits, forcing expansion, always moving outward, and alongside them, the shadow palisade, the shield, holding the line, protecting what's been built. Where one advances, the other ensures nothing collapses behind it. The shadow techs build what makes all of this possible, blending the known with what should remain unknown, constructing systems powered by something far less stable than electricity. And beneath it all, the shadow metabolics, studying what shouldn't be understood, how these entities function, how they're used, and what it costs the human body to endure them. Each house, distinct, dependent, interlocked, a system that sustains itself and grows. So when you step into Grasp of Erebus, you're not just entering a story, you're stepping into something already in motion, something that's been building quietly, just outside perception. This is only the surface. As you move deeper, you may start to recognize the patterns and wonder where they begin and where they don't. I'm Sebastian Dax. Thank you for being here. If this pulled you in, Grasp of Erebus is available now. Link in the description, and there's more ahead. New episodes, released regularly. Until then, watch your shadow.